I once accidentally swallowed a party hooter and for 5 alarming minutes honked every time I breathed.
David's team. When did this happen?
About minutes ago.
What kind of party was it?
It was a child's party, and yeah, it was a child's party.
Were you a child or were you the entertainer?
Yeah, I used to be a child. I'm not like David. I used to be a child.
And how old were you?
I was about 8 or 9.
And can you describe the hooter?
Well,
And how you swallowed it?
you know and it rolls out. Well, I pulled that off the paper, and I realised it still made the noise without the thing. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Still make the noise. You don't need that bit of paper. I know.
And so you've got a little squeaky stub.
Let's call it a hooter.
Yeah.
And when did the swallowing happen and how?
Well, the swallowing happened probably about 10 minutes into the party when I made the fatal error with a party blower, and instead of blowing, I sucked. I went, look, and it's gone to the back of the throat.
Yeah.
I panic.
Yeah.
And swallow.
Ah.
How was it removed?
Did you have to poo it out?
Well, I did, actually, and the noise was incredible. No, it got wedged in the back of my throat, and obviously now I can't breathe and I'm panicking. But wait, I can breathe. I simply have to breathe through it. And that's when the donkey fell in love with me. And we've been married ever since, thank you.
Well, how was it removed, then? How did you get it out?
Well, have you seen the board game Operation? It was similar to that. My mum put a red nose on me and stuck a light bulb on my head. And when they tried to remove it, I went... The red light went on, and they were out. No, they tried different things. I was still breathing, obviously. Every breath was a small trumpet.
Yeah.
Every breath in could have been my last. Silence. Oh, thank God. And it was very tense. And at this point, I slightly regretted not having the paper still on, because I thought that would have looked great, especially if a fly had gone past at the same time. And I got it in. People would go, did you see that? That was amazing!
So what are you thinking? Lou?
No, I'd be very surprised if that's true.
What about you, Giles?
It's a Farrago fantasy.
OK.
We think it's a lie.
You do think it's a lie, don't you? Lee, was it true or was it, as they think, a lie?
It was, in fact, a lie.
It's a lie. Lee didn't swallow a party hooter.
Last year, I bought a suit of armour from an antique shop. Then had to wear it home on the train because it was easier than carrying it.
David's team.
OK. Where was the antiques shop?
It was in a street near Leicester Square. There's a little side passage full of antique shops and the like.
Were you planning to buy a suit of armour that day?
Absolutely not. I mean, who does?
Why did you buy it?
Well, there was people firing arrows at me. They're on fire. What are you supposed to do?
So
We've all done it. We've all been to London.
Were you planning...
Watch a show, have a kebab, then it starts, doesn't it?
Were you planning to buy an antique that day?
No, I was not planning to buy anything, but I've always fancied a suit of armour.
What sort of suit of armour was it? From what era? From what...
Oh, it was a proper original one from the 1950s.
Was it a sort of theatrical prop, perhaps?
That's exactly what it was. It was from a show...
Yes.
In the West End.
In the West End. What was it called?
It might have been A Room for Two Nights. And this was just one of the costumes. I don't know where the other one went. It was on display. I went in, I looked at it, and I said, is this for sale? He said, no, but if you make me an offer, I might consider it. I made him the offer, he considered it. And then he said, now let's get back to buying the costume. And then I got excited with my purchase. So I said, I'll take it now. He said, it's heavy. I said, I think I can manage. And he jokingly said, you could always wear it home. And I thought, hang on. That's not only a purchase, that's a story for Would I Lie to You? So I said, do you mind if I get changed and I'll go home in it? He said, all right then. And that's what happened. I got changed and out I went like that.
How long long is your entire journey, door to door, from the shop to your home?
Well, usually in normal clothes, it's about, I'd say it's about an hour.
Yeah.
This took 3.5 days.
What do you think? Is he telling the truth?
I think it's a lie. I would love it to be true, but it's a lie.
You can't get underground with a load of shopping bags.
So AJ thinks it's a lie. Joel thinks it's a lie. I think, David, you're thinking it might be true?
It's a lie.
Oh, God, no. No. No, I think it's a lie.
Lee, truth or lie?
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yay!
Yes, it's a lie. Lee didn't wear a suit of armour on the train home.
Ahead of a forthcoming beach holiday, I've been practising my snorkelling in the bath. Last week, I managed to stay under for the entirety of the Archers.
David's team.
Lie.
For some of the younger people who have full and vibrant lives, what is The Archers?
The Archers is a radio soap opera about people who do archery.
Is your bath big enough that you can effectively bob in it full length?
No, my bottom is showing up out of the water.
Oh, God.
Picture the scene, Lucy.
And you remained in that weird position...
For the whole of the Archers.
For the whole of the Archers. Was that the omnibus, or...?
No, I wasn't on the bus, I was in the bath.
Where are you going on holiday where there's going to be such great snorkelling?
Thailand. Sorry, not Thailand, sock shop.
You've got your head in the water with your
Correct.
arms by your side, your bum in the air for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
What good does that do?
But it makes you... It helps you practice not panicking with your head under the water.
You're pushing your head down right under the surface of the water.
I've got about that much water in the bath, and my head's not...
Wow.
What? What do you mean, that much?
Bath.
That's a big bath.
I'm surprised you can get your bum out of the water at that depth.
Oh, no, I've got knee pads. Big, thick knee pads, because it can get very uncomfortable, that.
You could put a little stool.
Yeah, no, I tried that, but my wife said I've got to stop doing that.
So what are you thinking?
I think he's fibbing.
Oh. Claudia?
Yes, that's a lie.
David?
Yes, it's a lie. Of course, a lie. It's a lie.
Lee?
What?
Was it a lie, or were you telling the truth?
It's a lie. 11 years ago, I did a very bad thing in the kitchen. The time has finally come to confess all to my wife.
David's team.
What did you do?
I broke a pot, a cooking pot that you bake chickens in. You roast chickens in.
Okay.
Chicken pot!
What was so special about the chicken pot?
Good question, Greg.
Thank you.
Any ideas?
Was it a wedding present?
It wasn't a wedding present, no. It was terracotta, and it's got a lid on it.
Heavy.
Yeah, it's pretty deep, man.
Yeah.
No, it genuinely is. It's about that deep, isn't it? And you put the lid on, and the thing about these terracotta pots is you're not supposed to wash them. The pot absorbs the flavour over the years. I had about an hour before she was coming home, and I knew she would not be happy about this, so I raced to the local kitchen shop and fortunately got the exact same pot.
How many years?
About half an hour to age it.
How many years had the previous one been aging?
Oh, 7 years.
So you had to do 7 years' worth of casseroling?
Yeah.
In
half an hour.
In half an hour?
No, I had to make it look like it was weathered.
How did you do that?
First of all, I put a bit of soil on it. Then I put Marmite on, and then baked it very quickly on a high heat, and then scraped the Marmite off. Then I got sandpaper, a bit of sandpaper on it.
All this in the half an hour?
Unbelievable speed.
Before she got home?
When she arrived home, did she suspect anything?
Well, I was with another woman in bed, but apart from that...
How did you break it?
Well, I was fixing something with a screwdriver, and I got in a bad mood, and I threw the screwdriver down.
You threw a screwdriver so hard that it shattered an ancient cooking pot.
Didn't shatter it.
Cracked.
And it's not ancient, but the word pot was correct in that
Did you
sense.
say you...
bounce and it just chipped it a bit, but it was enough to make my wife... She would have noticed that chip.
So, you said...
Just let me have a drink and have a think about this. I'm not even married.
Why did you feel that a 7-year-old cooking pot had so much sentimental value for your wife that it was worth all this trouble?
Oh, did I not mention her grandmother's ashes inside? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's quite relevant. Sorry, I forgot that.
Yeah. Did you also burn another old lady?
All right, it's time to decide. Victoria?
I have met Lee's wife. She's an extremely sophisticated and nuanced woman with many interests. I don't think she'll be so...
Whoa. What do you mean, many interests? What do you know that I don't?
What are you saying? I can't believe that a 7-year-old pot would loom so large that you would feel unable to tell her.
That's because when you come round to my house and you're with my wife and we're having dinner, she's pleasant and she's nice. She's lovely, she's calm. And the second we wave you off, bye, see, this has been lovely, close that door. She goes, you embarrass me again! With your TV friends! That posh one with the beard kept staring at me! And I didn't like her husband either.
OK, I've got a couple of extra questions.
Oh, Lord.
What, you say it wasn't cracked, it was just chipped?
It was...
Was it usable?
Yes, it was definitely usable.
You would have been able to say, I'm really sorry I've chipped it, but the thing that you so love about it, all this accumulated flavour, is still there. It's not affected by a tiny chip.
There's a tiny bit missing. And actually, apparently, all the flavour comes from the sweet spot. And that's what had gone.
Where was
I remember as it chipped off, I went, smelt the pot, nothing. I took this little piece of it. Wow.
Even though the functionality of the pot is unaffected, you thought she'd be so furious at superficial damage to it...
Not superficial.
It is superficial.
No, it isn't superficial. I haven't told you the size of the chip, have I?
No.
OK.
Well, you just simulated it. You went like that.
Yeah, but you don't know how I'm holding it. I'm holding it at the edge of... at the edge of it. It goes round here. I'm holding it, you see.
All right, David, it's time to get a grip and make a decision.
So the flight of the screwdriver...
Can I just the pot was ruined, David. That's all you need to know.
Well, yeah, but when you said...
There you go, David. Yeah. Do you know what? I wish I'd have taken my chances with my wife at the time. This is unbearable.
Right. It is time to decide.
Second question.
No.
What did you do with the damaged pot?
I hid it to begin with, and then over the next couple of days, when she wasn't looking, I slowly
dragged it towards the door.
I moved it very slowly.
Because she only notices things when they move. Yes. She's Tyrannosaurus Rex.
She would be sat there with a glass of water watching the television. I would come down with a step and she'd see the water shimmer like that. What are you doing? Nothing got it!
So, David, it's time to decide.
Yeah.
Was Lee telling the truth?
Well, what do you think?
I think it's a lie.
What do you think?
It can't be true.
I think it might be true, but I'm not going to overrule my team. We'll go lie.
Lee, were you telling the truth or were you telling the lie?
I'm sorry, my dear. It's true. Because I'm so scared of cutting my fingernails, once a month I'll have a large glug of night nurse and ask my wife to do it while I'm asleep.
David's team.
Why are you so frightened of cutting your fingernails?
Because when I was a child, my granddad was cutting my fingernails and it flew off and it went in my eye, the fingernail, and I had to go to A&E because he couldn't get it out. Ever since then, I've been too scared.
People get specks of dust out of their eye. How did a fingernail?
My granddad fought in the war and sadly only had a thumb and one finger. Just enough to use a pair of scissors, but not enough to then start getting things out of eyes.
So he'd lost... Three fingers on each hand.
He lost 5 fingers on this hand, 3 fingers on this hand, and just those 2 fingers.
Right. So that's all he had?
And his name was Edward, and you wouldn't believe what his nickname was.
It's quite hard to hold scissors with just 2 fingers, isn't it?
I know, the man was a genius.
In between the incident with Grandad, which was when you were a child, should we say 8 or 9?
Is that what you want?
How old were you with the incident as a child? 15, 16?
8 or 10 I was.
OK, 8 or 10.
OK.
And then the next person to cut your nails was your wife. Did you meet her at 11, 12?
I can't remember the time.
I'm guessing in your 20s. So who cut your nails for 13 years, Lee?
My mum used to cut my fingernails for me till till I was quite old.
With the night nurse?
No, just her.
Did the night nurse solution immediately present itself, or did that come later?
No, my mum... look, I don't want to get my wife jealous. You know what they're like with mothers and stuff. My mother had a more gentle touch. She was able to cut my fingers in a way that wasn't traumatic.
Not your fingers. Your fingernails.
Yeah.
Well, did I just say fingers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Rob.
I have to say that would be a remarkably gentle touch if you could actually cut your fingers off.
Yeah.
I mean, she would have been the surgeon of her generation. You know, they didn't need anaesthetic with her because it's so silky with the scalpel work.
My fingernails, she cut my fingernails very gently.
Yeah.
You know, you've met my wife. She's got massive brutish hands. And she hasn't got that delicate touch. You remember when she met you last time and she sort of gripped you by the hand and you fainted?
Yes.
Hiya, Rob!
What about your previous girlfriends?
It's fair to say, in my younger days, that some of the girlfriends had daintier hands than others. The night nurse started on about girlfriend number 3, I think it was. Girlfriend number 2 was using chloroform. She was particularly brutish. One of them took me to the vets.
What are you thinking, David?
For me, it's the things that he said that aren't believable. I think if I had to pin it down, it would be all of the things that he said.
After he'd read the card?
Yes. We're going to go lie.
OK, so they think it's a lie. Lee, were you telling the truth or was it a lie?
It is, in fact, a lie. I once got my head stuck in a set of railings whilst trying to show my kids how I once got my head stuck in a set of railings.
David's team.
Yes, true, I think.
Just true.
Where were the railings?
Which time do you mean?
The second time.
The reenactment was at my house, the railings at the front of my house.
And you said to your children, these railings bring back memories of when...
Well, they're very... that's how it started. I said, they look very similar to the railings I had as a child. I said, have I ever told you the story of the time I got my head stuck in the railings? They said, no, Father, do tell. And I tried to paint the picture with words. And as you know, I'm not great at that. So in the end, I just got frustrated. It's not that hard to follow. Look, I'll just show you. Come here.
And where did the original incident take place? The railing incident?
Should we call it Railings 1? The 70s railings.
Yeah.
The 70s railings happened in my hometown.
What happened? So you're stuck?
The first incident ended with the fire brigade being involved.
Yep.
And where were the railings? They were in your hometown, but where specifically?
Railings 1, they were also in my house.
On the front garden of your house?
Yes, yes. We tried it in the upstairs bathroom, but they didn't look nice.
Railings 1.
We were struggling to get out of the bath. These are...
Railings 1, the fire brigade was called.
Yes, correct.
And what did they do?
They had to saw one of the railings.
Yeah.
What age were you for Railings 1?
I was about 9.
So this is a very scary occurrence for a child of 9. How did you react? Were there little tears?
There was little tears, yeah. Oh, Mother, my head is stuck in the rail, I said, vocally. I'll never forget, she came out with a glass of wine and a cigarette and laughed for about 25 minutes.
And how were you extricated after railings 2?
Yes.
That means how did they get you out of the railings?
We tried all sorts of different systems. The kids started off with Lurpak.
How far apart are the railings?
Oh, about 40 years.
I mean railings too.
Railings too.
About the size of his head, obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be stuck, would he?
I know
I can
it's
tell you
wrong.
This far apart.
Did you not think that your bonce was going to get stuck in there?
So I thought what would happen is I'd go in and it'd be a tight squeeze to get them out, but I'd still get it out. But I'd still have sort of proved my point that it's tighter to get it out than it is to put it in.
So did the fire... What happened next?
So my head's in the railings.
They've tried butter.
Railings too.
Railings 2. Railings 1, fire brigade. It's over.
It's finished.
They've sawed through one of the things, they bent it apart a bit, you got out. Fine.
Yeah. Well, there's more to it than that.
What more?
Well, it's a long story. My mum fell in love with one of them and left my father.
Okay.
That's a whole different episode.
Railings 2,
Yeah.
they tried butter.
Yes. They tried butter. They tried olive oil. I'm talking about the second incident, not my mum and the fireman.
Yeah.
What did they try? They tried olive oil, they tried butter, they tried soap. They tried an array of lubricants I have in my house.
So at this point, on either side of your head, there's quite a clot of slippy goose.
I'm not going to pretend it was a nice image, because it wasn't.
Yeah.
Especially given that my backside was facing the road. And particularly that I was stupid I was only in my boxer shorts.
You in your boxer
Because I thought this will take a second. No one passes by my house.
This will only take a second, so I'll take my trousers off first.
Did you get scared?
I was apprehensive.
Right.
That someone would phone the fire brigade and an old wizened fireman would turn up and say,
I remember you.
"You've done it again, haven't you?"
How did you get out? What worked in the
I'll
end?
tell you what works in the end. Brute force.
What are you saying, truth or lie?
I think lie.
I think go with your heart.
Yeah.
OK, lie.
David's team is saying it's a lie. Lee, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It's a lie. I once refused to help a hang glider who had become tangled in a tree because 2 hours earlier he had been rude to me in a car park.
David's team.
I love it. How high up in the tree was he?
He was about 2/3 of the way up of the tree. You probably want to know the height of the tree, don't you?
Yes, please.
The height of the tree was about how high he was plus a third.
So he wasn't 2/3 of the way up the tree, he was 3/4.
He was...
If he was 2/3 of the way up the tree, then the height of the tree was how high he was plus a half.
That is a fair point, isn't it?
He's made you look an idiot.
Yeah.
Where was the car park?
The car park was just near a cliff.
Right, yeah.
What was the altercation that you had with him?
He took the last space that I considered my space. Because I got to the space in the car park, and I did that thing where I was waiting with my hazard lights on.
Yeah.
Well, he came around the corner, and just as the person pulled up, he pulled straight into the space. I got out the car, I would say menacingly. I approached his car. He got out the car, bigger. And I said, forget it then, you know. That's your attitude.
So
Did he get his equipment out then?
He'd already belittled me enough.
Where was this tree? What were you doing when you came across this tree with him in it?
I was just going for a stroll with my wife.
And you heard a noise. Did you hear him or see him first?
I heard him first.
You heard
yes.
him. What was the sound that you heard? You're talking to your
can you imagine
wife.
a kite hitting a tree, times that by 50, and then add a human? That is what it sounded like. Obviously, I took the smart-ass approach and I went, "Oi, think you'll find I was going to park there?"
What did he say?
He went, help! Can you... Oh, help! And I couldn't see him at first, because it was just a sort of mess of tree and hang glider and...
What sort of tree was it, Lee?
It was a big one.
No, trees have names, don't they?
Brian,
was it
the
an
big
oak
tree.
or a birch or an ash? Right? The species of tree.
I'm going to go for oak.
But was it an oak?
No. Look, I'm walking along with my wife. Ba, 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 ba. Ah, crash! Pow! Wow! Is that an oak? That's not how conversations go, is it? You're going, there's a man in a tree fighting for his wife.
A man in a tree shouting, help, help,
Help!
me,
I'm
help.
stuck in an oak, I think.
And what did you say to him as he shouted
That's
help?
not an oak! You're confusing me now. When I have to relay this on Would I Lie to You, I'll get all confused. And it's your fault. I don't know. I think it might be a sycamore. Can you just help me?
Sycamore?
Yeah, when he fell out, he went like that all the way down.
And what did your wife have to say about this?
My wife said, we must help him. And I said, I refuse. I absolutely refuse.
And she just went along with
Nope. She climbed that tree.
Yeah.
She climbed that tree.
With her bare hands?
No, she got human hands. She climbed that tree, and luckily she had some nail scissors, and she slowly started cutting at the many bits of tangled up bits around him until eventually she managed to help him get down.
The hang glider had strings
This, of course,
like a parachute.
Sounds like a parachute, doesn't it? Yes.
I should point out, I'd walked away, and this is just the story that my wife recounted.
And then when did you next see your wife?
I still haven't seen her since.
So what did she...
He was a very good-looking Spanish guy, apparently.
All right. Super. Well, this is definitely true.
Right.
Do you believe this?
No.
A lie? Yeah. No, I think we think it's a lie because of... We think it's a lie because of what he said.
Lee, was it the truth or was it a lie?
Of course it was a lie. Having recently got into Eastern cuisine, this Christmas sees the launch of my new cookbook. Lee Mack's Walk Around the Clock.
David.
Give us some of the recipes from Walk Around the Clock.
Shall I give you my favourite ones?
Give just your favourite 6 or 7.
OK. Yeah, well, I like quite simplistic. Because believe it or not, simplistic.
So, raw pork.
So, sweet and sour pork balls is one of my specialities.
How would you cook your sweet and sour pork balls?
Well, I'll tell you exactly how I would cook my sweet and sour pork balls. For £9.99, you can find out.
Did you go to the publishers with this idea?
I went to Penguin because they're the only book publishers I've heard of.
How keen were they? Because I have to say, if I was a publisher and you came to me, I wouldn't be interested.
Well, ironically, Penguin didn't pick it up straight away.
Yeah.
Did you work in conjunction with a proper chef?
Of course, I was helped a little bit.
Who? By whom?
It's a friend of mine, works at the Chinese restaurant.
What's the name of this person?
You wouldn't know him.
Well, give it a try.
Steve. Steve Jenkins. I've been going into the Chinese restaurant a lot recently. And I've been really sort of learning about it and savouring the dishes. And I keep saying, Steve, this is fantastic. What is this? And then he says something in Chinese, which I don't understand. And then I said...
Steve Jenkins is Chinese.
He was adopted when he was a kid. Taken to China. But he was an English baby, yeah. This is a true story. They took Steve Jenkins. They adopted him.
Even though he was a baby, he was known as Steve.
Obviously not. Then he was called Baby Steve.
So this Chinese couple adopt baby Steve.
Stephen.
He's got his full name. He's got Steve Jenkins.
They don't change his name.
But they couldn't change his name, could they?
They continue to call him
Steve Jenkins. Well, he was clearly an English baby. They knew he was going to grow up looking Western.
Was he the only Steve Jenkins in his school?
I think we should concentrate more on my ability to cook and less on my ability to understand the basic systems of adopting children and taking them to China.
What was the hardest recipe to perfect?
The hardest one to perfect was definitely the beef in oyster sauce with chilli.
How would you go about cooking that?
Well, first of all, I will get my wok. Yes.
Very bold of you.
Yeah, so I get my wok down from my wok shelf.
Yeah.
Put it down.
Got a wok shelf?
Wok shelf, yes.
How many woks do you own?
About 7.
7 woks?
You don't... How many woks have you got?
1.
Well, that's why you haven't got a book out at Christmas, mate. Yeah. So I light the burner, like that. That's the noise. And I heat the oil, put the oil down. Peanut oil, actually. Don't use olive oil, peanut oil. So put the peanut oil
Sounds
round.
delicious.
The trick with the wok is not to put the oil at the bottom of the pan. It's to dribble it round the edge. You know the way same way you do a toilet duck?
Yeah.
All the way around the edge and watch it slightly go down. And the publisher said, probably don't use that analogy. So, put it around the edge. Let it all sink down to the bottom like that, yeah? Give it a good spinning round.
This is peanut oil, even though an increasing number of people in Britain are allergic to
absolutely
peanuts. Doesn't bother you?
No, I make it very clear to those people on the front of the book. I say, if you have a peanut allergy, you are not welcome. I'll do that. Throw it in. You flash fry it.
I'm there.
Then you're throwing in 3 or 4 different ingredients, depends which, but there's different versions of it. But I'm going to go with the one with lots of greens. You've got lots of broccoli, you've got lots of carrots, you've got lots of... a few sesame seeds, you're throwing it in. The thing is to feel the pan, feel it, become the pan, become one with the pan. You flick it up like that, stir it round. That's when you add the sauce. That's when you've got to add the sauce, the oyster sauce. But it's homemade oyster sauce. How do you make homemade oyster sauce? I'll tell you exactly how you make homemade oyster sauce. You get some water from the tap, you soak your oysters in it. Yes, you do use oysters. You soak them for 4 weeks in water. So the water goes black. How does it go black? You get your squid ink. You squid ink it in. You mix it up. You then mash it down, in. Get it really liquidy. It's on the turn, but it's not gone off. You've got to get it just on the turn. You put it in, you whisk it round. It's not anymore because stop that. It's gone there. It's simmering away like that. It all settles down and you pour it onto the pan like that. £9.99, the book's yours.
David, what are you thinking? It was very entertaining, but was it... Well, I say very. Was it true?
No, it wasn't true.
Do you need a little time to discuss this with your team?
No, I know. Well, firstly, it wasn't true off the card to start with, because there's no way Lee would bring out that sort of book.
Why?
I've met him, it's evident.
But why?
He then went on to make it less
You don't know
plausible
everything about me, David.
that your collaborator in this book is a man called Steve Jenkins, who was adopted as a baby in this country, taken back to China.
Not for long.
No, for his whole childhood.
No, he said they came back to Britain.
Yeah, but when he was an adult.
Oh, when he's an adult?
Yeah, otherwise he'd have been able to speak English now, wouldn't he?
How did you write a book with a man that only spoke Cantonese?
Well, we had an interpreter. Chinese fella called Brian Smith.
I think you're incredible, man.
Incredible as in not credible.
So we're saying it's a lie. Well, the audience are on tenterhooks. Lee, was it the truth?
See, there's a slight part of me now thinking, I could actually bring this out. It's a lie.
It's a lie. Lee hasn't written a cookbook called Lee Mack's Walk Around the Clock.
I once took my trunks off in the communal area of a ladies' changing room after getting out of a pool and misreading the signs through my foggy goggles.
David's team.
So, where was the swimming pool?
It was at the leisure centre.
Oh, right. Where was the leisure centre?
It's next to the swimming pool. It was my local leisure centre.
OK.
Did anyone see your genitalia?
4 people looked, but no one saw it.
I'm keen to know, at which point were you planning to take off your goggles? When I get out of the pool, I shake off like that.
Yeah.
I turn back, let them have a nice look, and then I put the goggles up. There's no way you'd keep your goggles on for the walk.
Well, I am short-sighted, and they are prescription goggles, and I wouldn't have been able to.
So you were going to wear them home?
Not wore them home, no. So I was going to put my glasses on that were in the dressing room.
So the reason you kept the goggles on that stopped you being able to see was so that you could see.
The irony.
So you get into the changing rooms.
Yes. Now it's goggles off like that.
Yeah.
And,
so now you can't see anything
I can't see a thing.
Yeah.
There was actually no one in the room. It's trunks down like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I heard the voice.
And what was the voice?
Hello, I live in your trunks. But that's another story for next week.
No, that's the children's book you're working on. I still feel publishers will be nervous.
So I go in, I do that, I bend over, speedo's down, and...
Is that your technique? Goggles off, pants down? I mean, do you not go to your locker? I would take the goggles off, put them in the locker. I wouldn't go goggles off, pants down, right now. Where's my locker?
I was at the locker.
What did the voice say?
The voice said, excuse me, and I said, excuse me, I'm not sure you should be in here.
Did you not question yourself at this point?
Question myself? I questioned her. What are you doing in the men's changing room? I said. Alex, could you say excuse me in the relevant way? I'll show you exactly how it went. Come out here. This is exactly how it went. Right.
Where are we going?
I'll walk you from the... Right, so I've left my child in the pool. Dad's will be back in a minute. If they go down, blow.
Can I dry in over here or something?
You're in the shower, actually. Right, get out the pool.
At this point, the goggles aren't yet steamed up.
The goggles are on. They're a bit wet, and I walked in. I'm in there, and then I think, right, and then I look up with my goggles. It's goggles up, trunks down.
Excuse me?
You're that woman from the one show.
This is the ladies. Get out, you pervert.
I think you'll find this is the men's changing room.
Hang on a minute. No, that's not right. Because if you said that to her, I think you'll find this is the men's changing room and you believed it, then your system would kick back in again. Bam, the pants would be...
Oh, no. I wasn't going to make a point and go, right, come on then. Beat that! So then the woman said to me, she said, excuse me, I panicked, and I said, I said, excuse me, this is the men's. She says, no, this is the women's. And I thought, for a minute, I thought she was wrong. Then I thought, oh, my God, she might be right. And then another woman came in, and then a third woman. But I'm so argumentative, it wasn't until the fourth woman came in that I considered that I'd made a mistake.
So what do you think? Was he telling the truth there, David's team?
I think it's, without question, a lie.
In
fact, if it is the truth, I'm prepared to pull my trousers and pants down right now on this show.
I'm not comfortable with that sort of forfeit becoming part of the format of this game.
So you are willing to say that you are willing to drop your trousers if this is true?
Yeah.
Can we get you some goggles as well?
I don't need them. My eyes will be closed.
Well, I think we're saying it's a lie.
Yes.
I'd like to say that I'm not willing to do anything at all if we happen to be wrong.
So you're all saying...
only a game, for God's sake.
So you say it's a lie. OK. Lee, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It is, in fact, Greg, true. Can I just say that I just whispered, could you change it? Because it was, in fact, a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Lee didn't take his trunks off in the ladies' changing room because of his foggy goggles.
I can always remember all my ex-girlfriends' names and the order in which I went out with them because their initials happened to make the acronym Bermuda.
OK, off we go. Bermuda. B.
What?
B.
B.
Will you please give me the names of all your ex-girlfriends and make the acronym Bermuda as quickly as possible, please?
OK. Brenda.
No.
Brenda. Superb. Brenda is still as popular a name as ever. E.
Sorry?
Ethel?
I'm helping you. What's the next one?
Ethel.
E.
Is it Ethel?
No, it's not Ethel.
Enid.
No, it's not Enid. Have another guess. Erin.
Sorry?
Erin.
Erin. OK.
I just spelled Bermuda. Well, I know, I was joking, yes. Sorry, R. That was R. That was actually Regine.
Sorry?
Regine.
Regime, as in regime change?
No.
Next up after regime.
Regine was the lovely Molly. Molly. I could tell you a thing or two about Molly, but this isn't the time.
Next one.
What about you?
This is the weird one. Right?
They're all a bit weird.
Not actually her name, right? But in my nickname for her, Una.
What was her real name?
Sally.
Why did you call Sally Una?
Because Una Stubbs played Aunt Sally in Wurzel Gummidge.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good.
He's good.
Yeah, Dave, experimental year. If you've forgotten it, I'll never forgive you. Happy days, Dave.
Dave, the D, that's what you're saying. The D is Dave.
Of course I'm not.
OK.
Delia. Not the Delia. And may I say, not my mother, who was called Delia. True story. Definitely not her.
But that's why it popped into your head now as you were making it up. And A
was Alex.
That certainly is a serendipitous series.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't serendipitous. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
What was the M again?
What?
The M again?
Molly.
And the E?
Was... What? The E. I'll tell you exactly what the E was.
The E was...
It was, in fact. I'll tell you exactly... What?
And the U.
And I
the
loved
U.
her. No.
The U.
Sally.
Real name.
Sally.
Yes. Come on, Lee. You know this. The D.
Give me a D.
The D was.
Mummy. Deirdre.
The E.
Give me an E. Erin.
The B.
Give me a B. That was a long time ago, to be fair. Brenda.
And the R.
And the R was Regine. Regine? Little Regine.
Yeah. Well,
is that a name?
Regine. It's a name, isn't it? Tell me it's a name. Regine's a name. Anything's a name, isn't it? I went out with a girl called Cupboard for 3 weeks. Not a joke.
Where did Cupboard come in the Bermuda list?
Oh, she was before I invented the acronym system.
Sorry, it was a system. It didn't happen by accident. You were seeking out people beginning with these letters. What was it about the island of Bermuda?
Because all my ex-girlfriends went missing.
So what do you think, David? What does your team think?
I think it's a lie.
Would he go with somebody called Brenda?
What do you mean, would I go? Yes, she was Miss World, right? She came and she said to me, I really like you. And I went, I like you. What's your name? Brenda. Forget it.
So what's it going to be, David?
I
think it's preposterous because it's preposterous.
I think it's a lie. I think it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie?
Yeah.
OK.
Yeah.
Lee, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
Of course I was telling a lie.
Oh, yes, well done.
Yes, it's a lie. Lee's ex-girlfriends do not form an acronym that spells Bermuda, although they have formed a support group.
Possession.
Right, well, in that case, step this way and take the card, read the card to us, and then when you've done that, you can reveal your possession.
In Thailand, I paid £200 to have my portrait painted by a monkey. This is that portrait.
All right.
Can I give you that?
David, what do you think?
There you go.
Treasure it.
What colour shirt were you wearing?
You probably want to ask less what colour shirt I was wearing, what colours were available to the monkey at the time.
You don't particularly remember it being green?
No, and I don't remember having 4 green ears either.
And what colours were available to the monkey? Blue, red, green, and its own excrement.
That's my face!
Can I just say, I was recently at a zoo where I was painting with chimps. In the North Wales, in the Colwyn Bay Mountain Zoo in Wales, and I tried to get them to paint stuff, and there's no way that they would have done that well.
I'm not being racist, but that's your Welsh chimp. That's all I'm saying.
How big was the chimp?
Well, let me remember now. He was sort of like this. He's about that big sat down.
Yeah.
So that plus a couple of chimp's legs.
I honestly don't think that a monkey... There's a sort of mouth on that, and his eyes, there's two blue blobs of eyes. Monkeys can't do that.
You think it's too good, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the resemblance is too strong. You've even got your little squinty cockeyed eyes.
Don't push your luck. Things I have to put up with on the show. You're wondering why it's like this, OK?
No, it's him did it. I'm not wondering why.
It could have been better, but he was a surrealist.
David, what are you going to say? Is this monkey story true?
I think it's a lie. I think it's an absolutely pointless act to get a monkey to paint a picture of you, and I think Lee would also have thought that.
I think Rod thinks it's a lie. We know that. Sally?
Yeah. He looks like a hard man.
Okay.
He wouldn't be easily...
So, David, you're saying lie?
I think we all think it's a lie,
okay. Lee?
I'm sorry, but it feels weird being up and not being able to press something. Do you mind?
Not at all.
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yes, what a surprise. It was a lie. Lee didn't...
It's a lie. How am I supposed to sell that as a truth? Do you know what? I'm glad it's not mine. Supposed to have a chance.
My 4-year-old son is watching. Thanks for doing it, and I'll fix it, and I'll bring it home.
And tell him I want me 200 quid back on that monkey suit.
Yes, it was, of course, a lie. Lee didn't pay £200 to have his portrait painted by a monkey in Thailand. I mean, why would a dumb, hairy beast who spends all day throwing his feces at the wall and scratching his bottom want a portrait from a monkey?
I can tell the circumference of someone's head just by looking at them.
David, what do you think?
No, you can't. Let's move on.
My head measured yesterday for a week.
What a waste of time. You should have just come here today.
Well, I know exactly what my head circumference is right now.
Hey, Catherine, bring it on.
Go on, then. What's her head circumference?
Let the lady ask if she wants to know. Yes, Catherine. Can I help you?
Lee,
Yeah.
what is the circumference of my head?
Could you just have a little bit of a... I would say that, from my expert opinion, you are... I would say you are a large.
David, large isn't a circumference.
Tell me, what did he say? Because they've got it wrong, I guarantee. Listen to this. What did he say?
He said that I was 24 inches.
Well, there you go. Classic layman. You're clearly a slave queen.
What do you reckon about my head, you know, in terms of circumference?
You're a 26. 26.
Right, 26 inches.
28, 26, 23 and a half.
You're not just reversing perspective and thinking that the heads that are further away must be larger.
Bizarrely, David's head is actually bigger than Catherine's, even with the perspective of the distance. Catherine's got quite a small head.
She's got quite a small head, which you defined early on as large.
It's time to encourage Lee to stop talking. What do you think?
I don't think it's true.
Do you not?
No.
There is something about it that just has the ring of
Fishy.
total crock to it.
Have you got a tape measure?
Why?
Well, then we can prove I'm right by measuring your head.
Yeah, if we did have a tape measure, you wouldn't want to prove you're right, because you don't get a point just if this is true. You have to make it...
No, if you had a tape measure, you would prove that I'm right, and then you'd say true.
Yeah, and it would be true, and we'd get a point.
And... Do you mind if I just... Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I used to be a vet.
My head shape is like a torpedo, though, and you have to get the
Remember
full
not to
length.
measure it from the nose, Lee.
Are you
That was a tip you did earlier.
Right, hang on.
I mean, you can take it. The nature of a head is
You've
that
got
it gets
to get the
smaller,
height
so
of
you're
the
going
head.
to...
David, would you read out the result, please?
No.
It's... 23.
So, David, what does that lead you to?
I still don't believe it.
Really?
I still don't believe... Do you believe him now?
No, I
do you
don't.
believe him now?
Oh, my goodness.
A little bit.
You believe it a little bit. I think we're going to say this is a lie.
You're going to say it's a lie?
Yeah.
Lee Mack.
Yes?
Were you telling the truth, or were you lying?
I was, in fact, telling a lie.
Lee can't tell the circumference of someone's head just by looking at them.
After an incident with a permanent marker, I had to go to my son's parents' evening with a moustache and glasses drawn on my face.
David's team, do you believe that?
OK. Who drew this on your face, or did you do it to yourself?
Yes. I did it to myself. I was on the way to my son's parents' evening and thinking, I haven't got a tie. Oh, I know, I'll pretend I'm somebody else instead.
All right, what happened?
I was asleep one afternoon. My wife thought it would be funny if my son drew the thing on the face. So she said, go and get one of your felts, because the felts are, you know, the washable ones. He started drawing on my face. I woke up, I laughed a bit, I let him carry on, and then we looked at the pen, realised it was permanent marker. And when I went to wash it off, it came off a bit, but not enough. And we were late, so we just had to go.
Can't you try, I don't know, white spirit or something? Doesn't that work?
I could have tried a blowtorch as well.
No. I mean, silly bang.
What sort of moustache was it? Was it a sort of typical twirly one, or just a sort of more Hitler-type thing, or...?
Couldn't go into your son's school with a Hitler.
Well...
Could you?
Well, you definitely couldn't, David. That would be wrong.
So, David, which way?
Well, I think... You think it's a lie, and you think it's a lie? We're going to say it's
You're
a lie.
going to say it's a lie. OK, Lee, truth or lie?
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. Lee didn't go to his son's parents' evening with a moustache and glasses drawn on his face.
If you give me any date before the year 2000, I can instantly tell you what day of the week it was.
Bollocks.
Is this something you learn, or is this the kind of, you know, Rain Man type thing?
No, I had to learn...
You learned how to do it?
Learnt the system.
What's the system?
The system is, what you do is you actually just learn
You sat there trying to think of a system, and what you're clamping for is you actually just learn what day of the week every day is.
I can't go back to, like, 14 BC, right? But I can do it right the way back to the sort of 1920s, 1930s. And what you do is you learn a midway, so you learn one particular pit point in 1955, 3 months in 1955, you learn it off by heart those 90 days. And then there's a calculation that you can do to plus or minus.
What's that calculation? Take a day, one of your expert period around Suez or whenever it was.
Well, you have to give me the exact year, otherwise it'll be two different answers.
OK, I don't mind. Right, the 14th of May, 1955.
Well, hang on, 14th of May, 1955. Tuesday,
right. And so how do you extrapolate from your knowledge of that to go back to the 1920s to the 23rd of June, 1927?
It's dead simple.
Yep.
It's 7. Hang on. To the power of 2. Right. Then you take away 10% Unless it's a leap year.
And is it a leap year, 1955?
Of course not, you idiot. That was 54.
No, of course.
Okay.
This one, 1926.
This one, did you hear that? It's 55, a leap year. What an absolute cretin. Did you hear that? What an idiot. Honestly, he's Oxbridge educated. What a...
90 years a leap year, 7 to the power of 2.
7 to the power of 2 is 49.
Minus 10% is 4.9, so you got 44.1.
Correct. I was going to say...
That's not a day of the week, that's 44.1.
It is.
44.1.
Then you round it up or round it down, which is 44. Key of the door, 21. 2 and 1 is 3. Sunday's the first day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
So, David.
Lie.
You're saying it's a lie? OK, Lee, are you telling a lie?
Of course I'm telling a lie.